All right, guys. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening to all of you, and welcome to Road Trip. This is your friendly neighborhood. Taiwan hit. Ayan, big hit. Super Typhoon na Kong-rey in Taiwan. Taiwan Kong-rey, biggest typhoon to directly hit Taiwan, is nearby 30 years, has made landfall on island eastern coast. Alright, at one point before I made landfall, the typhoon was packing wind over the 200 km per hour at close its center of making equivalent of category hurricane. Ayan, pareho raw ng hurricane. Ayan ang namamalasa ngayon sa Taiwan. Panorin po
The
natin,
biggest
guys.
storm to hit Taiwan in nearly 30 years has made landfall on the country's sparsely populated eastern coast. Super Typhoon Kong-rey is gusting at more than 250 kilometers an hour, and torrential rains are expected as it sweeps across the country. Thousands of people living in its path have already been evacuated, and schools, businesses and financial markets are closed. Hundreds of flights have been cancelled, and the Defence Ministry has put more than 30,000 troops on standby. Our Asia correspondent Rupert Wingfield-Hayes is in Taipei, and he says the whole country is locked down.
So you can see the wind and rain.
Grabe ang bagyo ngayon dyan sa Taiwan. At delikado, lalo na sa Spain.
Has really picked up a lot here in the Taiwanese capital, Taipei, in the last hour or so. We're now really getting the full force of the storm coming through the capital city. People are hunkered down here. The whole island has been closed down. Schools and offices are all closed the whole of today. Rail services
Ayan,
suspended.
sarado lahat ang mga airlines at mga offices.
All domestic flights also have been cancelled. The brunt of the storm has really been borne by the people on the east coast of Taiwan, where it came ashore a little earlier today. It is an enormous storm. It's 500 kilometres across. It is packing winds at the centre of over 200 kilometres an hour. So it's a very serious storm. And that's why the government has really shut the whole island down. The real danger from storms like this isn't
Ayan,
much from the
first
wind.
time din nangyari dito sa Taiwan over 30 years. Ayan, has made landfall on island eastern coast.
Really from the amount of rain that it's carrying. And as it piles into the central mountains of Taiwan, which are very high, it'll start breaking up and dumping all of that rain over the mountains, potentially causing flash flooding and landslides. We've seen that in the past where whole villages have been buried in weather events like this. The other thing that's really most noticeable about this particular Typhoon Kong-rey is that how late it's coming in the season. Taiwan, we've already had two very big storms here, big typhoons so far this year. The first at the end of July and then another at the end of September. But I've looked back at the records and I can tell you this, as far as I can see, is the largest typhoon to ever strike Taiwan so late in the season, right at the end of October, beginning of November. They've never had anything like that before, and people have been really commenting on that. We've seen people on TV here being asked what they think of the typhoon, whether they're worried, and they're saying, look, we're used to typhoons here, but what's really strange is this is way, way too late in the season. We've never seen anything. And a 70-year-old man I saw saying,
Grabe, no?
look, I've lived here 70
Kailang uli nila na-experience ang ganyang kalaking bagyo.
years. I've never seen anything this late in the year in my lifetime.
Our Asia correspondent Rupert Wingfield-Hayes in Taipei.
Alright, guys, napanood po natin at napakinggan dito sa Typhoon Kong-rey dito sa Taiwan. Alright, and without further ado, ayan, panoorin po natin, guys. Ay, grabe.
Storm to strike the island in nearly 30 years. Typhoon Kong-rey has been packing maximum wind speeds of over 184 kilometers an hour. Waves of up to 10 meters are pounding the shores along the island's mountainous east coast where the typhoon has made landfall. Weather forecasters are warning that torrential rain will affect most of the island. I'm joined now by DW correspondent James Chater in Taipei. James, the typhoon just made landfall. How big is its impact?
Absolutely. Well, the entirety of this island is essentially on lockdown today. Schools, businesses, financial markets, all shut in preparation for the arrival of this storm, the strongest typhoon to hit Taiwan in nearly 3 decades. We expect this typhoon to have weakened somewhat as it approached Taiwan's eastern coast as it moved in from the Pacific Ocean, but still packing some gusts of up to 150 miles per hour and bringing strong winds and rain to the majority of Taiwan over the course of today and likely into the evening too. The areas of most concern, though, as you alluded to in that introduction, is in the eastern and mountainous parts of Taiwan. Parts of Taiwan where the infrastructure is not quite as complex, more sparsely populated, and is more prone to the impacts of these typhoons. From those areas, we understand some 1,000 people have been evacuated from high-risk areas, and some 36,000 troops remain on standby to assist with emergency operations. In terms of the future path of this typhoon, we're expecting it to move over the Taiwanese mainland over the course of today and into tomorrow, moving out into the Taiwan Straits, weakening again as it approaches China, the southeastern provinces of China, where officials have already also issued warnings for the approaching storm.
Ang lakas ng bagyo, no? At grabe. At ito ay isang Taiwan is being hit the biggest storm to strike island in nearly 30 years. Typhoon Kong-rey has been packing minimum wind speed over 184 km per hour. Ayan, malaking wave at 10 meter high are pounding. Ang laki, no? Alright, maraming salamat sa panonood pakikinig. Dito kay Rob Trip and says again sa ating live reaction video dito kay Rob Trip. And peace out. This is your friendly neighborhood. Rob Trip tayo. And don't forget to subscribe this channel. Alright guys, thank you.